there, it's Derek here from Pacific Coast Auto in Japan. We're taking a look at a Land Cruiser 80 series. This one here from 1995 has 247,000 kilometers on it. As you can see, a giant lift on it, and that's the diesel engine. I'm going to turn that off just so you know it is a little bit noisy. It's a Land Cruiser. It's supposed to be noisy. Now it does have some belt squeals, so have a listen. Okay, and I'll switch that off. The engine is a little bit diesel smoky. Diesel smoke means it's running a little bit rich. That's usually because of deposits inside the engine. It needs an Italian tune-up or it needs some fuel conditioner, and that will clear that all up for you. Now the engine, it's a little hard to see unless you're 7 feet tall, but this one here is the 24 valve version of the 1HD engine. That's a 4.2 liter turbo diesel, one of my all-time favorite engines. It has an aftermarket air filter. Come around here and see. K and N. Looks like it needs to be cleaned. Turbo, not a giant turbo, but turbo nonetheless. And yeah, not a powerful engine, but a torquey engine, and just a great feeling engine. Has a good character. Now coolant and oil, both have been checked. Both checked out okay. The oil is it's black, but you get black oil after about 200 kilometers after an oil change. That's just how diesels are. It needs to suck in some of those particulates into the oil as part of how it works. Now, we'll shut the engine room and we jump up to get it. Yes, this one, I suspect this was bought mostly because it's friggin' awesome, and it really is. The lift on it, the big tires, the road presence, especially in Japan, honestly. This one's going over to Canada, so it'll equally look awesome there. We don't have a ton of lifted Land Cruisers there, but every once in a while you'll see them on the road. This will definitely draw attention. It does have some issues that we knew about going into it, and a few that we didn't know about going into it, such as life buying from the auction. Most of it we know, and the ones that we don't know, we could kind of guess. And so the problem with rust, and that's the issue, is that if you've got rust on your car, you've got more rust on your car, and that's what they missed. So you can see here it says C2, which is medium corrosion on the roof, and C2 on the back hatch, which is medium corrosion. They missed some, which I would consider C2, right here. It's on the base of the windows, and I'm going to show you now because it is important. We've got some rust along the base of the windows on this side and on the other side. So right here and here. It is a common location for the Land Cruisers to rust. Otherwise, you know, Land Cruisers, they are beefy, strong vehicles. They are definitely worth doing corrosion repairs on. This one maybe has a few paint repair things that need to be done. If it didn't have corrosion on it, you'd be paying more for it. And so to the right buyer, something like that is not so much of a problem. Now, I came over here to the interior to read the auction sheet because the vehicle's so tall, it's hard to see it off of the windshield. But here on the seat, it's also a little bit tall. Let's go down to the floor mat here. By the way, these are Caro brand mats. It's a high-end floor mat. These cost $800 for a set. Kind of cool to see those. Okay, so 1995 Land Cruiser VX Limited, the VX being the top trim level, auction grade 3.5, interior grade C, 247, 724 kilometers with automatic transmission, sunroof. Yep. Sunroof, power steering, power windows, and color changed to black. If you see a Land Cruiser that's color changed to black, it was probably done about 8 or 10 years ago because that was all the style then. Now the style is kind of the khakis or the army greens or, matte colors, sometimes a matte blue with a white roof. Something like that is really popular nowadays. Back then it was black, and so you can kind of understand when it was restored. These restorations are usually done by shops that want to get the vehicles in and out and don't care too much about rust. Let me show you something about that. Color changed Land Cruisers, pay attention to this because you're going to see it a lot. These sorts of things, see, right? They don't do the proper body work on the car before repainting them. And so you get these areas that shouldn't have re-rusted after 7 years, and they do. You don't really see it after 3 or 4 or maybe 5 years, but they do come out eventually. And that's also why you'll see stuff like this. If a car is going to be repainted, make sure it's repainted properly. But these companies that repaint them, they make a lot of money. They don't do the proper work. It's like a factory. High volume and not very good attention to detail for each one that they sell. Okay. So sales points here. It's a twin battery version. The timing belt was changed at 200,000 kilometers in 2017. That gives you a good idea of how much it's been driven in the last 7 years. 45,000 kilometers in 7 years. Pretty reasonable mileage. Sunroof on this one. Just explaining that again in the sales points. Leather looking seat covers and aftermarket steering wheel. Not aftermarket, combination steering wheel, so half leather, half wood. Aftermarket exhaust, aftermarket suspension, and by the way, the suspension is shocks, springs, aftermarket steering damper, and the shocks are Fox brand, which is nice to see a good high end. And lateral bars, so that's what your lift consists of in this case. Okay, headlights and tail lights have been changed over to aftermarket ones. It has a aftermarket side steps and bumpers. And 16-inch wheels. Now the report section here from the auction inspector. A color changed car. Left side electric folding mirror doesn't fold. Seats have covers and are ripped. Interior dirty and wear. Underside has been painted and has surface rust. The underside of the frame actually looks pretty good. Pretty decent from what I can see. Dashboard is cracked. Winter tires, various scratches and dents. And then of course the rust here. U2 dents here. U2 here and here. There's a medium dent. Scratches on the front, rust on the back, paint peeling. We kind of just saw that. And then no spare tire. So, let's go and put that sheet back up on the windshield and we'll take a look at the car. Let's see if we can do this one-handed. Perfect. Okay, so walk around. 80 Series Land Cruiser. Probably the last one that I would consider the classic Land Cruiser before they started looking quite a bit more modern, which is funny to say because I didn't think the same thing of this if you asked me 15 years ago. I would consider this the new version and all of the older ones, the old ones. It's kind of funny how time does that. And I do wonder if the version after this, the 100 series, is going to look old and classic to me going forward. Now the 80 series is going to do what all the Land Cruisers do, is going to appreciate in price and it's going to be worth keeping in good condition. Right now, a 60 Series Land Cruiser, the one that came just before this, is very, very hard to buy in good condition because of rust. The 80 Series will be there in no time. It's already kind of getting there. And so you get a Land Cruiser, you keep it in good condition, you will have people appreciating these vehicles for a very long time. And with the advent of electric vehicles and all of that, something like this, a good old school diesel with a big body lift, classic styling, classic Toyota reliability. It may even prove to be even more popular than it is now. And these are very popular at the moment. Okay, looking at details. So aftermarket headlights, you can see. And then the front grille has been painted. It's usually chrome. And it has chrome accent that goes around the headlights. It's all been painted into what looks like a gunmetal gray. But then it's had rock chips on it that have chipped the paint into kind of a Space Mountain look there. Okay, original marker lights here and here, and an original bumper which has intakes here for your intercooler, which is in there, and your radiator.
Want to see us having fun in Japan? Go check out our new channel. Link in the description.
Quarter window or quarter mirror here. These are a Japanese thing. Even like Ford Explorers that are sold in Japan have these little mirrors, and it just makes parking a little bit easier for the larger vehicles because then you can, from the driver's seat, of course, right-hand drive, and you can see down here. By the way, these tires stick out more than what would be legal here in Japan. So do consider that. Speaking of tires here, we have Mickey Thompson wheels. By the looks of it, a little bit old, so that has some corrosion on them. And then tires, what size do we got? 315/75 R16, which, from 2019, by the way. I don't know what that is in regular truck tire size, but I suspect that these are something like a 35 by 13 and a half, maybe? They look too wide to be a 12 and a half. Maybe even wider than that, but it looks like 35 tires, which 35s, they're the sweet spot. They are the tire that gets you the most amount of improvement before you start to fall off in performance. You go bigger than this, it becomes harder to drive on the road, and much more likely to snap axles. Speaking of your aftermarket suspension, you can have a look there at the lateral rod, the shock and the spring. All a very simple thing, and then it's been rock guarded on the underside. See, underside is looking pretty good. It might be a little bit hard to tell any rust or anything under there because it has been painted with the textured paint. Have a look when it comes in and make sure that there aren't anything that needs attention. Here's what the aftermarket taillights look like. Very standard affair type things. 24 valve. It is the good version of the 1HD. I'm not really doing this right. Let's go back and redo this. I'm getting way ahead of myself. Okay, so we're supposed to be going around the vehicle showing you any of the details as we go. We missed a few things. So this one here has been replaced. That's not the original fender gasket. This one here as well. And they've been replaced by just a caulking in there. Those fender gaskets, they turn hard, they crack, no good. Dents over here. Remember, U2 on this side, so let's have a look. So you can see some of those dents, right? And I'll point them out in a second as well. So a fairly sharp dent right here. Okay. This section here has been like kind of more paint wavy than dented. And then a section here with some dents. Not sure how you're picking up dents there, but I'm proud of you for denting the car in that area. That means, Land Cruisers, dents, kind of like a character trait on the cars. You have a Land Cruiser that's too clean, it's like, what's the point? You want to be taking that thing off-road? You want to be collecting damage as if it's trophies for the car. Gosh, I love Land Cruisers. So cool. Okay, so let's have a look now at the side steps. Okay. So an aftermarket one with an aluminum riveted onto a chromed aluminum bar. And there's that rust again. I already did show that. And the rust back here. And here's more around there. This one comes with a spoiler because downforce. Actually, it's a drag reduction spoiler, so we can joke about spoilers on SUVs all we want, but it does make slightly better fuel efficiency on the highway. Very cool looking rear bumper. This is the bumper. As you can see, it wraps tightly around the frame and protects the vehicle, especially around these back quarters, which is what's going to be hit when you're off-roading, most likely. And there's that aftermarket exhaust sticking out and being menacing. If it were my car, probably polish that up and clean the rust off of it a bit so that it even pops more. Okay, a little bit more rust around here. You're going to see this on Land Cruisers. It happens. And coming down this side, it's looking pretty okay. Here's what I'm talking about with the cracking gasket. This happens frequently on these cars. You can just replace it. There are lots of gasket materials you could buy that's universal that works out pretty well for that. A few random scratches right here, a few around the door handle, and coming up here over fenders maybe not holding on the best. Both mirrors have a little bit of fade or peeling, I guess, on the top, and that's about it. Fox 2.0 series. Okay, and it's no longer shiny, but that exhaust poking out easily visible from the inside is a very cool touch. Paint on the hood looks okay. Wipers, faded paint, and a little bit of rust. And let's hop up here so we can check out the roof. Okay, your roof rust is right next to the windshield there. The rest of the roof looks rust-free. This is looking all right. Okay, jump down, and now it's time to take a look at the interior. Land Cruisers. It's always been a Land Cruiser thing to have tailgates. Very cool. Okay. And so it's a diesel. That means it's going to be a 5-seater. Plenty of space in here to move whatever you want to move. Okay, tinted windows have a little bit of damage. And they have these bars to protect the windows if you are going to be using it as a cargo vehicle. Okay, that's a battery cover, a plastic battery cover there, and some random aluminum beams in the back, and a well-protected carpet using the dealer optional carpet protector. So thank you for getting that from a Subaru. Okay. Close this up. Oh, and this one here is also, the tint is damaged a bit. Headliner, yellowed from being smoked in. And I'll give you a smoke test once I go to the interior. And then speakers in the headliner. Again, this is a Land Cruiser thing. Oh, here, we're not seeing any signs of rust around here. It is an area that I've seen rust creep up. And the same thing goes for around there. Up we go. Down we go. And to the interior now. So maybe a little bit difficult to get kids in the back. For adults, it's not too much of a problem because most adults are going to be able to reach this. Hold on there, step there, and you're in. Door card, looking pretty okay. Aftermarket speakers from Carzaria. A little bit dirty on this speaker cover, but the speakers themselves look fine. Okay, seat covers on here, so I don't know the condition of the seats underneath, but these covers look all right. They're a leather-looking seat cover, and they're nice and soft to the touch. Sitting adults in here is fine because you've got plenty of leg room there, and the seat cover brand is Clazio Giacca? Giacca? I don't know how to pronounce that. It doesn't look like it's supposed to be English. You can see again, lots of cigarette damage up there. Smell test. Smelling okay. Doesn't highly smell of cigarettes. Sometimes when you turn on the AC or the heater, it can smell a little bit more like cigarettes, but I don't think it's got a problem with cigarette smell. Land Cruisers, most of them in Japan have been smoked in. It's a very common thing for cigarette smokers to be into Land Cruisers or Land Cruiser people to be into cigarettes. I don't know which one comes first. This is an original sticker, by the way. It's supposed to say some little details on it. Caro, look at this. They make floor mats for pretty much every car. And then you can buy them online, even old cars from like the 60s and 70s. Seats here, pretty standard fare Toyota seats. Nothing special there. They said rips in the seat cover. Yep, it's true. Not the worst. The seat underneath might still be in good shape. These companies that do the repaint and restore and then sell, always put the seat covers on. I'm not sure if they're caring too much about which ones that they buy, because everyone gets seat covers on it. There might be some cigarette burns underneath the seat cover. Okay, steering wheel. Looks like it's got a decent amount of wear right here. Actually, a large amount of wear right there. To a lesser degree over here as well. The wood also has a little crack there. Otherwise, the wood seems to be fine. Hop up in. Okay, pretty normal gauge set there. You have a little turbo light and a change your timing belt light. Kind of fun. Dashboard cracks, not as fun. Crack there and there. These are dashboards that are prone to cracking. It's unfortunate. I've never seen one crack quite as much as this one has right there. It's unfortunate. There's also some cracks around here and here. Okay. I don't know an awful lot about dashboard repairs, but I know that there are companies that do this sort of thing. Okay, CD player here. Also looks like it has USB in and auxiliary in. Single cup holder there. This could double as a cup holder. And you got another one here. Console. Mo console. And place for coins, which were little pieces of metal that you could exchange for goods or services. Okay, that one looks a decent amount worn, so probably drove around with two people quite frequently and maybe feet on the dashboard. Some damage has been melted to fix over there. Kind of weird. I haven't ever seen something like that. Not like damage here isn't common on Land Cruisers, and repair yourself by melting is an interesting choice. Okay, up here, compass and altimeter. Super cool. It's like, I know most people aren't going to be taking their Land Cruisers up mountains, but in case you are, have a compass and an altimeter. Okay, so I think we have shot enough of this Land Cruiser, so let's wrap this video up. If you are interested in purchasing a car from Japan, please hit us up. There's a link to our website in the description. My name is Derek. Weldon from Pacific Coast Auto. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for watching, and have a nice day.